Hi everyone, Henry here with M1 Auto Detail, and today we're down here in this beautiful, lovely parking garage, and a customer of mine called me up saying he had some water damage or mineral spots on his car. So I came down here, I assessed the damage, and this is what I'm doing. So this side over here I sanded down with 2000 grit. And this is what it looks like. This is really caked on. He tried removing it with polish, wouldn't come off. So now I'm here trying to fix it. Now, there was this same spot like this all across there. And my process is start with the least aggressive procedure. So I washed it, I clayed it. That was the first step. I saw that the clay wasn't taking it off. So then I moved up and stepped up the game to I used an acid, a wheel acid. It was removing it, but very slowly. So my next step is to sand it down, and my procedure of sanding it down is start off with 3000, see how that works, step it up to 2500, and then 2000. And 2000 is removing it at a great speed, and it's doing a great job. So I'm gonna tape this up. And I tape it up because I don't want to risk sanding any other area that's not damaged, so it reduces work for me. And we'll be right back, and let me tape this up and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay guys, so I'm back and I've taped off the area where I'm gonna work in. And like I said earlier, I do this because I only want to sand in this area right here. I don't want to go around and make my work more harder for myself, you know, trying to polish out a wider area when I could just concentrate on that right there. And the same thing goes for this. So I'm gonna sand this down with the 2000 grit. And so I didn't come prepared today, and I had to run down to Pep Boys and pick up this this longer sheet of sandpaper. It's the ones I use are about a quarter the size of these. So I just fold it up and just use, you know, workable areas, smaller areas, I mean. So I'm gonna sand this down, and you guys will see the next step. I'll be back. So hey guys, real quick, my little procedure is to wet down the area and then start sanding it in one direction and then hit it in another direction, so that you're eliminating some of those peaks, so that when it comes down to polish, it just becomes a little bit more easier for you. So I'm gonna finish this up real quick, and I'll get to the polishing right after. Okay guys, so this is how it looks. Now, I haven't polished this yet, but this is after 2000 grit sandpaper. And again, I taped it off just to confine the damage to that area right there. Can't stress that enough, because if you make a bigger area sanding it, it's just creating more work for you. So you want to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to sand this down with a 3000 grit, and then polish it with a heavy duty compound, and then polish it again with a light polish. So I'm also going to remove this little piece of minerals right here on the plastic. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna figure that out right now. So I'll be right back. So hey guys, real quick, I want to show you guys the difference between a 3000 grit sanding marks and a 2000 grit sanding marks. So you see the drastic color change between that and there. You see that's more of a whiter haze than this. So this is a lot more finer. This is ready to be polished, and I'm using a Merca sandpaper on my Rupes 21, and these are great. I found them at Pep Boys. They're freaking awesome. I love the sponge it has on there. It becomes like a sort of an interface between that. So these are really great. I like them. I had no idea Pep Boys carries them. So awesome. And I'm gonna finish this up, and you guys will see the final results. Okay guys, so a little recap. I'm achieving great results with the steps that I've done so far. And on the trim right here, I use some mineral spirits to clean up some of this trim. I use a little bit of it just because I didn't know how it would react with the plastic, if it would melt it or not, but it did a great job of removing it. So going back to the paint, now this over here is sanded with 3000, and let me see if I can get a light in here somewhere. That's where that watermark was. And I'm using a Meguiar's microfiber cutting disc with good old FG 400. And I'm thinking I'm not gonna need a last polishing step. So stay tuned and you'll see the final results. Okay everybody, these are the final results of my process. And I had also some watermark damage going down all the way in this ridge right here. I also had to wet sand it and then polish it. I actually polished that by hand just because couldn't get the polish into that tiny groove. But I got great results. This is where most of the damage was, right along this area. And let me get a good reflection. So I sanded it down and I did remove some orange peel, but the important thing is I removed those mineral deposits on there. And I did the whole roof just because I didn't want that one area right there to be just polished and then this area to be kind of crappy. So I went ahead and did a final polish on this whole area. And again, I cleaned up this trim with mineral spirits. I didn't use a lot of it. It did remove it. Did a great job of removing it. So now, to recap, these are the products I used. I taped off the area. I used a 3M tape just because this tape is really smooth and it won't peel off as much. The adhesive on this is great. It will tend to sometimes grab hold of the microfiber pad, but I've tried many tapes and this is my favorite tape by far. And then I used 2000 grit sandpaper, followed with a Merca 3000 grit, and followed that up with a FG 400 and a microfiber cutting disc, Meguiar's. I then used Essence and followed that up with, sorry about that, with the Meguiar's finishing microfiber disc. I topped it off with Reload just because I like that combo. It's a great combo. I used deionized water throughout the process of sanding and regular workhorse microfiber towel. So those are the products I used. I use these products because these are my go-to products. I know these get the job done. I'm not out there testing, wasting time, wasting money. So these are the products I used. If you guys use other products, that's great. My thing is the end result. People really don't care what products they use. They just want it clean, shiny. That's it. That's what gets the bills paid. So if you guys use other products, again, great. These are the products I use. If you guys have any other questions, please leave them below or message me on my Facebook, Instagram, and on my website at m1autodetail.com. Thanks again for watching and take it easy.